Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to this exclusive interview with our extraordinary guest, His Excellency Mr. Charles Michel, the President of the European Council. We had the privilege and honor to interview His Excellency. Stay tuned. Your Excellency, can you tell us the reason of your visit to Kuwait?
It is important for the EU to engage with your country, with Kuwait, at the bilateral level. We have a good relationship and we would like to strengthen the ties in all possible fields. And on the other hand, you know that we are working to prepare the first summit in history that will take place between the Gulf countries, the leaders of the Gulf countries on the one hand, and the leaders of the European Union on the other hand. And we think that we face extraordinary difficult challenges at the world level, and we feel it's important for the European member states to engage much more at the political level with the leaders of your region, and that's why I'm here to prepare those meetings, to prepare this summit, but also to strengthen the ties at the bilateral level.
And how do you see this visit benefiting Kuwait and the EU's relationship?
This visit was the occasion for me to listen to the concrete priorities on the side of Kuwait. For instance, we understand this is very important to develop the ties from an economic point of view, trade, investment. We have already a good partnership, but there is a potential for doing more together, and we have discussed some concrete elements on which we would like to work more in the future, point one. Point two, it's also important from a geopolitical point of view to understand what are the expectations towards the European Union. And you know that this war in Gaza is a tragedy, it's a humanitarian tragedy, and that's why we support a ceasefire, we support the release of all hostages, and we support the two-state solution. And we are working with Kuwait and with some other partners to provide more humanitarian assistance to the people in need.
And do you think that this visit would increase the economic exchange between Kuwait and the EU?
I'm very confident because this visit and the meetings I had the honor and the privilege to have with the Emir, with the Crown Prince, with the Prime Minister and with all the authorities. These were opportunities to be very concrete and very precise and to understand very well what are the expectations, what are the priorities and what we can improve in terms of bilateral relationship. And on the other hand, I'm absolutely convinced that the priorities for the future of the country in terms of diversification of the economy, in terms of projects in infrastructure, for instance, this is in line with the European priorities.
Yes. Your Excellency, can you tell us about the upcoming visit that will be the first ever summit between the GCC members and the EU that is scheduled in Brussels in October 16th?
Yeah, I would like to reiterate that the 27 head of state and head of government in Europe, they are very motivated and they are impatient to have this summit with their counterparts in the Gulf countries. Why? Because we understand very well that we have to upgrade the partnership at a more strategic level between the GCC, the Gulf countries, and the European Union. And we feel that the political dialogue, the political cooperation is needed if we want to provide more stability, more security, and more prosperity. And for that, we need to work together. And that's why on the EU side we are working so that in the days to come we will propose a communiqué, a statement. This statement takes into account the many contacts we had in preparation of this summit with our partners in the Gulf countries, and we will express together, I hope, a strong ambition for the future. We will also, I hope, decide to negotiate not only the regional level but also the bilateral level, strategic partnership agreements, so that we can make decisions which will be tailor-made and which will take into account the expectations and the priorities of each of the six Gulf countries.
What are the main topics that will be discussed in that summit?
Yeah, the first one is the political ambition to have a more strategic partnership with the region, and this is a clear signal that we want to send to the public opinion, to our people in Europe and in the region, point one. Point two, this is the economic ambition, and there is a vast potential that we should maximize in the field of investment, in the field of trade, economic sectors. The digitalization of our economy, it offers vast opportunities in the future, more connectivity. We have to discuss also some concrete projects in terms of infrastructure, and for sure climate change and the need to diversify our economic models in the region, but also at the European level. And for sure, security, stability and security in the Middle East is fundamental. It's important for the region, it's important for the world, because it has consequences all across the world if we do not make some significant progress in terms of stability. And there the political dialogue is key to develop a better mutual understanding, and also through the political dialogue to help us on the EU side to make the right choices at the international level. And you know that the European Union, we are convinced that we need to promote and to support the international law, a rules-based international order based on the territorial integrity, the territorial sovereignty, based on human dignity, and that's why we hope that a ceasefire in Gaza will be possible as soon as possible, and we hope that the release of all hostages will be possible, and we hope that the two-state solution, and we are working to make it happen, will be the way to assure peace and stability in that region. My message to Kuwait is the following. You can count on the European Union. We appreciate the ties we have built together for many decades. This year we celebrate 40 years of bilateral cooperation between the EU and Kuwait, and after 40 years we can look at the future with optimism. We are self-confident, and we feel that there is a good dialogue with mutual respect, and we are absolutely convinced that we can work closely together in the future.
And with that, dear viewers, we conclude this exclusive interview with His Excellency Mr. Charles Michel, the President of the European Council. We wish His Excellency good luck in his mission in Kuwait, and we thank you for keeping us company. Goodbye.